Good afternoon, it's meteorologist Michael Feca. Welcome back to the 2:30 afternoon weather update. We do these here every day during the work weeks, but also on weekends, especially when we have some weather that we want to talk about, and that's going to be coming in for tonight. We are going to get right into it here. I know a lot of folks are going to be joining us throughout the live stream, so I hope I'll go over at least the details possibly twice here so that everybody's on the same page and I can send you guys on your way. But we are on alert for tonight. We're tracking out that cold front that's moving in from the west this evening. As that front moves in, we're going to see an increase in those wind speeds out of the southwest. We do have that wind advisory now in effect for gusts up to 40 miles per hour. And then as that cold front passes overhead, we're expecting a thin line of thunderstorms to form. And within that thin line of thunderstorms, we could see some potentially damaging wind gusts and even the potential for a quick spin up tornado. So those are kind of the threats that we are facing here as we head into tonight. Now, in terms of the changes that we've seen since yesterday, there hasn't been a whole lot of change. We've just been a little bit more confident in the fact that there may be some severe storms here. So that's why a lot of the tri-state has actually been upgraded to that level 2 out of 5 risk for severe storms. So isolated to scattered, severe damaging wind gusts, or even an isolated tornado can't be completely ruled out. And that slight risk area extends all the way up along western Indiana, eastern Illinois. That includes the Indianapolis area as well. In terms of what's going on out there right now, it is quiet. We had that warm front lift across the tri-state last night. We've been maintaining this cloudy, warm, and windy day so far, and I expect that to continue here for the next couple of hours. And it's the warm air, the moisture, and the wind that is going to help fuel that threat for some of those storms. Now, taking a look off to our west right now, here's where we're seeing some of those storms begin to pop up, mostly in central Illinois. Right now, they've got one severe thunderstorm warning just off to the west of Champaign. These will continue to slide in from southwest to northeast and eventually push in from northwest to southeast across the tri-state through this evening. In terms of what the timing looks like, I'll break it down for you here right now. So we'll stay quiet here for the next couple of hours. And then it looks like by around 5 o'clock, we'll start to see some of those storms begin to push into our southern Illinois counties, lining up along the Wabash River by around 6 o'clock tonight, eventually pushing into the Evansville metro area, perhaps around 7:30, eventually off towards Owensboro between 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then eventually off to the east of the tri-state entirely by around 9, 10 o'clock tonight. Now, we may still have a few lingering showers here after that main line passes, but in terms of the actual severe weather threat, it's looking like between 5 and 10 p.m. is when we're going to have to be keeping a close eye on these storms as they move through. Now, as this front pushes off to our east, we'll see a shift in those wind direction, and that is going to pull in that colder air from the north. So depending on how quickly some of these showers can kick out of here to the east, there may be a very brief moment that we see a flurry or a few snowflakes mixed in there as that pushes off to the east. But we're not expecting any sort of accumulation or impacts from that aspect of this storm system. But what we are mainly focused on here is the potential for damaging wind gusts and even a spin-up tornado. Those are the main threats with this line as it begins to move through. So outside of the storms, I also wanted to talk about the wind. It's been very windy out there. It's been howling all day long. We've had gusts up to 30, even closer to 40 miles per hour in some locations right now, seeing gusts up out of the south around 30 here in Evansville and Henderson. We do have a wind advisory that's going in effect around 6 p.m. tonight. That's going to be right out ahead of that front. That's when we're expecting the strongest, gustiest gradient winds not associated with thunderstorms. Those thunderstorm winds will kind of add to that wind impact as they pass us overhead. But it looks like these winds are going to be pretty gusty here through 6 a.m. tomorrow morning when that wind advisory is set to expire. And again, we're seeing winds out of the southwest now, which is why we've warmed all the way up to around 70 degrees for many of us. Once we see that wind switch to the northwesterly direction, temperatures are going to drop very quickly here. So topping out in the upper 60s this afternoon, bottoming out in the 20s overnight tonight. And then with the wind factored in early tomorrow morning, it may even feel like the single digits. So here's kind of how that's all going to play out. So feeling like the upper 60s to around 70 here this afternoon. That front moves in and temperatures drop very quickly here within a matter of hours. We're already going to be down around freezing by around 9 o'clock tonight, which is why I'm talking about that potential for maybe a flurry or two if some of those showers don't kick out of here quick enough. But here's a look at your feels like temperatures. By tomorrow morning, it is going to be feeling like around 5 degrees. So a huge difference between what you're walking out to outside now and what you're going to be walking out to on your way to work or school tomorrow morning. It is definitely going to be a very, very chilly one out there. So here's kind of a recap of all of the details. So we're on alert tonight. This is going to be from 5 p.m. in our western counties, so southern Illinois. That's when we're expecting those storms to begin to move in. Here in the Evansville area around 7, and then clearing off to the east of the tri-state by around 10 p.m. tonight. We're looking at potentially some strong to severe damaging wind gusts and maybe even a spin-up tornado, and then sharply colder temperatures as soon as that front passes overhead. So that is kind of all the latest details. Let me go ahead and check out some of the comments. Good afternoon, Scott. Stacy says, sure is windy. Yeah, it is. It is going to be windy here through the rest of the night. Leanne has asked, what have I missed? Well, not much yet, but we are expecting a cold front to move in here tonight, and that may bring us some showers and storms with the occasional damaging wind gusts and potentially even a spin-up tornado risk as those showers pass overhead. But the good news is they are going to be pretty quick movers. So because the winds are so gusty out of the west behind this front, those storms are going to be able to track in and out of here quickly. So we're looking at, again, 5 p.m. in southern Illinois, around 7-ish here in the Evansville area, and then off to our east, completely off to the east of the tri-state by around 10 o'clock tonight. So those are the details. Megan says, feels great out there right now, not excited about winter coming back. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a huge wake-up call walking out the door tomorrow morning. Leanne's asking, so are we still a level 1 or 2? Most of the tri-state now has been upgraded to that level 2 risk. So a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings are certainly possible here as we go through this evening. What time will it hit Newburgh? Around the same time as Evansville. Around 7-ish is when you can expect that line to move through. Mary Beth asked a very good question. Is slick roads a possibility early tomorrow morning? I do think there may be a slight chance for a few spotty areas of black ice, mainly on sidewalks or areas where storm drains are, but I'm not really expecting a really big hard freeze here. We're getting around 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain, but with the wind we're expecting, I think that wind will probably dry out the grounds enough before the temperatures can freeze it. So I don't think we're going to be seeing much of an issue with slick roads tomorrow morning, but I can't completely rule out maybe an occasional slick spot on a sidewalk. But that is kind of the idea there. All right, that is kind of all the questions I'm seeing. I'm seeing a few more questions about timing. So let me go ahead and pull up the future radar one more time, and then I will send you guys on your way. So let me go ahead back up to our... All right, here's our model. So here we are sitting at around 3:30 this afternoon, still cloudy, windy out of the southwest, very warm out there. That front kicking up some showers and storms by the St. Louis area, and that's going to continue to push in here by around 5 o'clock in southern Illinois, Fairfield area, along the Wabash River by around 6 p.m. here in the Evansville area by around 7, there in the Madisonville area between 7 and 8 o'clock. Same thing out towards Owensboro, and then eventually off to the east of the tri-state between 9:30 and 10 o'clock tonight, with a few lingering showers possible thereafter. All right. What are the chances for damaging winds? Well, looking at our primary threats here, our damaging wind threat is the one that has kind of been upgraded here, at least as of yesterday. We've got that 15% chance now. We're sitting at a level 2 out of 4 for our wind potential. So again, I'm expecting very gusty showers here with that occasional damaging wind gusts being able to mix down. And then as some of those stronger gusts maybe bow out segments of this line, you may get a quick eddy or spin up type tornado along the leading edge of that. So that's kind of the threats we're facing as those storms pass on by. So that is all I've got here for the forecast. Let me go ahead, skip back down to the 7-day, and I will talk about what we can expect once this front actually clears the area tonight and headed into next week. So here's a look at your next 7 days. We'll finally dry out overnight. Some clouds will stick around through tomorrow afternoon, but I still think we'll see some sunshine out there. Temperatures a lot colder, only topping out in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees, feeling like the single digits early tomorrow morning. Then Monday night, dropping back down into the teens for those overnight lows, still possibly feeling like the upper single digits Tuesday morning, and then temperatures will start to gradually warm back up to near normal after the new year. So once we get past Thursday, temperatures begin to top back out in the lower 40s there, and it looks like high pressure is going to keep things fairly quiet, and it doesn't look like we have really anything major moving through here as we start the new year. So that's one positive note. It looks like maybe Mother Nature wants to save all of her fun and games for the end of 25. So that's what we're going to be dealing with tonight. Hopefully we don't see any warnings, and hopefully it's just a breezy line of rain, but I don't want to completely disregard that potential for severe weather, because that is definitely a real one there, especially with the shear that we have aloft. So hopefully we don't see anything bad, but if we do, tune into Channel 14. I'll be in and out with updates, cut-ins if needed. Hopefully we don't see any tornado warnings. If we do, I will obviously be going wall to wall for you guys until those warnings are expired. So you're not going to be left in the dark. I'm here for you, and we'll get through it all tonight, and then we'll be able to go to bed nicely after that front clears out of here. So I'll hop off now. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 6 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe, have a great rest of your evening, and just remember to have a way to receive warnings. You don't ever want to rely on those storm sirens outside. Definitely have a way to receive it on your phone. The 14 News weather app is a great way to do that. You can set those notifications. Any warnings that are relevant to you will pop up there automatically. So that is all I've got here. I'll send you guys on your way, and have a great rest of your afternoon.